What do I study first when I'm learning Korean? Do we start with the alphabet? Do we start with the phrases? Do we start with grammar? Or do we start with just watching K dramas? Like, where do we start? Is that your question? If that's what you're wondering about in your journey of learning Korean, this video is going to help you so much because I'm going to give you step by step guidance so you can know exactly what to study by each step. Because the truth is, if you're like just starting to learn Korean, you don't want to start with grammar. That's not how babies learn. In the very beginning stages, we don't just say, hey, go with grammar, and then baby's gonna cry and they're not gonna even digest that in the head. So, what do we study first? Let's go to my chart and I'm gonna show you everything in this blank page. You can even draw this in your notebook and we can fill it in together because you can make a map on your own as you're watching this video. And for me personally, I made this and it's like a whole roadmap of learning Korean. So I might have to refer back to this as I'm writing this. Okay? So here we go. The very first stage. I know many of you are just like, "Hey, can we just start speaking Korean?" No. Let's all start with this thing. Ready? Let's write it down together. Learn. Oh, learn 한글. That's gonna be it. Yep, you probably have seen reels and other people talk about this. And that is correct. We need to start with the alphabet. That's how I think other languages, all languages in the world, babies, and when you're first learning a new language, even as an adult, we start right here. Let me tell you the reason why. If you skip this, when you just think about the alphabet, what do you think about? Is it just cute characters? That's not just cute characters, it teaches you phonetics, which means the pronunciation depends on what letter matches with what sound. Like apple, banana. Like, this is the basics that we need to build really strongly in order to move on to other parts. Because everything, all of this part, will depend on Hangul, which is the alphabet. Hangul, by the way, is the alphabet of Korean, right? So let's say you skip the alphabet and you're like, I am just gonna speak, but you're like, wait, how does that vowel sound like that? You won't understand the why behind anything. So, good news though. Good news. Let me tell you something really, really good. Our alphabet, it's the easiest to read. I wouldn't say it's the easiest to write or easiest to know and learn the grammar. But for reading wise and learning the pronunciation, easier than other languages, in my opinion. Like many students of mine learn how to read within a week. With my books and my program, they just learn it and they're like, thank you, right? So, this part, you can get through it in a week or two. Okay, so we got this. And if you're looking for any resource recommendation, because I have so many resources that I have personally created myself, I'm gonna have you check out my description in the below so I can like leave you guys the links. Because if you're on stage one, you don't have to get like any other resources for stage two, three, four, five. No. Maybe you don't need that yet, right? So I will break it down in the description too so you guys know exactly what you need. Because lots of good tools save our life. That's what I realized. Like without tools, I cannot even hang a picture on a wall because I need the right tools, like the right hammer to make it happen. So if you're looking for right resources, right tools, I am all here for you. All right, so now let's talk about number two. What do you guys think it is? Stage two, after you learn the Hangul, you're like, okay, I know how to say ya, yo, ma, ba, sa, ja, cha, ka, ta, fa, ha. Like, you got the alphabet down. What do I study next? This is where a lot of people actually struggle with. They're like, I got the Hangul down. Where do I go now? Next one is grow actually. Grow your core vocab. That's what you're going to do. I'm going to write it down. So you're going to grow continuously your beginner core vocabulary. So I would suggest about 500 to start with. Not all in one day, but step by step. What I suggest is 10 words a day. We can totally do it. So today you learn about family, like mom, dad, sister, brother. Like you just repeat enough so it becomes automatic in your head and you're like, okay, I got it. Next day, you're like, okay, let's go to cars, transportation. So you learn about car, train, subway, all of that, right? So as you build, just think about it. If you do 10 a day, if you do 5 times a week, because weekends you can play, that's 50 already, right? And then times 10, that is what? 500. So just 10 times of that 1 week of practice. You can do this. Like it's doable if you break it down. Do not think about learning all hundreds of words in one day because that is not good for our brain and that's not how you study Korean and how you do anything. We break it down, we chunk it, and we grow it like you're growing trees. You have grown plants. That's how you're going to grow your vocab. And honestly, without lack of vocabulary will hold you back with so many areas than you know. For example, you're trying to make a sentence and you're like, how do I say milk? How do I say earrings? How do I say to make? How do I say clothes? But if you know your vocab, if you got down with your core beginner vocabulary, you'll be like, okay, I know how to say milk, earrings, clothes. I just have to put them together. Like you're 90% done with what you have to do to make sentences because you got the vocab down. So do not underestimate the power of growing your vocabulary. There is no easy way out. No easy way. Like if I want to grow my muscles, I need to start lifting consistently good amount of weight, right? Not like 100 pounds, but consistently. I start with 3 and then 5 and then 7, 10, we go up. And then our muscles will grow. That's how it's going to be. Slow process, but it will build and you're going to be very, very grateful that you did that, right? Because all of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 will not make sense without the 2. So, do you see how it all builds upon each other? So, now you learned hunger and you have some core vocabulary. Like after 500, do not give up. If you got down with the 500, continue to learn more words. Oh, by the way, if you're looking for some good resources for vocab, I have a whole thing called the Vocab Power Pack. And what I did, because I know you guys can look it up on Google, ChatGPT, but that wastes your time. And sometimes we want to buy time. That's what we want to do, like easy way out. You don't want to be like looking for words every time you learn new words. So what I did, I created a whole vocab pack. So this includes about 1,300 essential Korean words with pictures and my personal audio that I recorded for each page. So you'll have access to my recorded version of my voice on each page with pictures too, because I really truly know that when you have colors, when you have pictures, you learn so much better, right? Yeah, like black and white list, like not fun. So I did do my best to include fun pictures, fun visuals to go with our verbs and our nouns. Okay, by each chapter. So feel free to check it out in the description. You are going to love it because I'm saving you lots of time because you can just go straight into it and learn the new words and build your vocab. All right, so let's clean up our mess here. I am going to clean this up. And now let's go to number 3. So you got down with your vocab or you're continuing the journey. What is number 3? Number 3 that I recommend is learn your go-to phrases. What is go-to phrases, Aina? Well, I'll tell you all about it. Let's write it down. Learn your go-to phrases. So, just by looking at this, can you tell what it means? Like go-to phrases. It's something that you can go to right away without thinking too much. Because if you have to search for it, that's not a go to phrase. So, what I recommend is you memorize about 100 to 200 go to phrases that you can use anytime, like thank you, I need it, give me this, because we use that to order something. So, you know, when you're going to a Korean restaurant or Korean barbecue, you're like, I know how to order. Let me take charge and order from the waiter. And you're going to impress the whole crowd. But that doesn't take long. You just have to memorize 2, 3 sentences. 감사합니다. 저기요. 고기 주세요. 물 주세요. 얼음 주세요. I just said, excuse me, give me this, give me ice, give me this. And they understand you. That's your go to phrases. So you didn't look up anything. You memorized a few and you got it down. Like in any situation. So I would study some for cafe go to phrases, taxi, like in the taxi, like what do you say to the driver? Or restaurant, that's a good one. Or like if you're lost in the street and you want to ask, hey, how do I get here? Or where is the subway station, the closest one? Like those things you need it. When you travel to Korea, there is no time to talk to ChatGPT. No. It's gonna be right here in your brain and you're going to just use it in every situation. It doesn't take that long, trust me, if you put in the work consistently. 5 phrases a day. 5 phrases a day. That's all you need. And then you will build and grow that phrase bank in here. So you're not like stuck in those situations. You just know what to say. Okay, that's what I recommend. When I studied abroad in Taiwan, I did this for myself because I knew that I am going all by myself, no one that I know right there. I'm going to be a stranger to everybody. So I memorized about 100 phrases before I arrived. That saved me like so much life. I would have been like lost because they didn't speak any English. Like at night markets, in the street, in the hotel check in. I used my phrases and they were able to understand me, and that gave me a confidence booster. So, trust me, you need some go to phrases. And this one, if you're at stage 3, I have a phrase book called Speak Korean Anywhere. Don't you love the title? It's literally anywhere because I organize the phrases by situation. Like things that you can use at a cafe, taxi, airport, like work situation. All of that is right in my book. So you can check it out. Let's go to stage number 4. So you got down with some phrases, core vocab, hunger. What's next? Let me look at my roadmap. Understand. Let me put understand. Understand Korean sentence structure. So sentence structure. I wish I can write neater, but my elbow is kind of up. It's not touching the desk because if I do it, I don't have enough space. So please understand my handwriting. My elbow just can't be stable. Okay, that's why this is happening. All right. So sentence structure is quite the opposite of English if you have studied Korean before. It's like I taco make. I Korean study. Well, the subject part is the same, but usually we omit the subject if it's a if it's a I, so it'll be like taco make, right? I grocery go. That's going to be the order. So your verbs are always going to be at the end in Korean. So many times when you're trying to make sentences, your brain is going to be like beep 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 like oh yeah, opposite order. Okay, let's put it together again. So it's going to be very confusing. Okay, so I want you to get very familiar with the structure so you know where to put your vocab, like the verbs, your nouns, your adverbs, your adjectives, your subject, all of that need to be placed in the right places. It's like, think of it like a room and you know the layout. Before you start decorating, you need to know your room layout so you know exactly where to put the bookshelf, the desk, the shelves, like all of that, cubbies, drawers. Then you can do it nicely because you know the layout of it, right? Okay. Now, you know the sentence structure, you know your phrases, you got down with the vocab, you know your hunger. Where do you go next? I have it right here. It says learn Korean verb conjugation. Okay, so learn verb conjugation. Conjugation is just a fancy word for changing the verb tense. So you know how you say like in the past tense, present and future tense. So you know how you go I eat dinner, I ate dinner, I will eat dinner, I'm going to eat dinner, I am eating dinner, present progressive. So all of that is your verb conjugation. And why this is important is when you're growing your vocabulary right here, you're just learning the dictionary form. You're not learning the conjugated verbs, right? You just get to the dictionary form. And your job, depending on the situation, depending on what you want to express, you're going to conjugate that verb into present, past, and future. So you know exactly what you want to say and communicate to your friends and family. Very important step. It's actually simpler than you think. I have a magnet system that I teach in my course. It's called a sentence freedom. Inside, I break down everything about sentence building, including the vocabulary, sentence structure, the particles, verb conjugation, of course, the irregular rules, all of that. I break it down because I don't like making things complicated. I just like to I get the complicated things, and then when it comes to me, I'm like, okay, how do I simplify this? How do I make it easy? How do I make it fun? And I somehow come up with a song, somehow come up with a system, somehow come up with a flashcard, somehow come up with pictures and colors, and my students are loving it. So they learn how to make sentences within 2 weeks in my system, in my course called Sentence Freedom. So if this is something that you're stuck in and you need me or guidance or a teacher to guide you step by step in a short amount of time in a fun way, I'm all here for you because I want to save you time and I want to inspire your heart. Okay? So check out Sentence Freedom if you're in this stage of your learning journey. Okay? And now we just got two more, 6 and 7. Of course, there's more steps, but I just came up with the first 7 that you have to focus on. Okay, so here we are at now 6. You got down with your conjugation. What's next? You gotta learn essential particles. Don, don, don. Does hearing the word particles like scare you? Because many students get scared when they hear the word particles, like subject markers, topic markers, object markers, because particles don't exist in English. That's why they're like, what is that? How do I do it? Like do I say it right? Calm down. It's okay. Notice how it's not in the very first step. We're not learning particles here. No, after from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you got things down, you will have space for number 6. Have you heard of the saying people go, things don't get easier, you get better? I'll say that one more time. Things don't get easier, you get better. So it feels easier. When I was teaching my first year teaching, oh my goodness, fourth grade was the first classroom that I taught 10 years ago, because this is my 10th year teaching. I was like, why did I become a teacher? This is the hardest thing ever. I cried every day. I went to the bathroom in the middle of the class because it was like so hard. I'm like crying thinking about that experience. But every year, it didn't get easier. I got better. I persevered. I endured through classroom management. I figured out how to teach and talk and break down concept. And I got better, so it felt easier. But teaching is not easy. So just like that, Korean is not easy, but you will get better. I know that. I believe in you. If you're watching this, just know that I'm your biggest cheerleader. I believe in you. It will get easier. Or no. You will get better. So it will feel easier. Okay? So after you go through all of this, you will have room for particles and your brain's like, "Okay, I'm ready for this." Okay? And then you go through one by one subject markers, topic markers, object markers, and things will make sense. And because this language is not easy, and because learning anything like nursing, not easy, becoming a teacher, not easy, becoming an engineer, not easy. Nothing is easy, but we endure through the process. And somehow in the journey, we meet amazing teachers and mentors and friends. And through their help, we survive. I just remember like the reason why I was able to survive through so many years of hardship in the beginning of my teaching journey was because I met such an amazing partner teacher who taught me how to teach, how to model after her, right? So I know the power of having good mentors around you. So if you're looking for that, I'm always here. And if my teaching style resonates with you, I think you're going to love my books and courses. Okay? So all of that will be linked in the description if you're looking for resources. Now, that leads us to the next point, which is number 7. You got done with the particles. What do? I want you to learn your high frequency grammar patterns. Okay? So learn. Everything's like learn or learn. High frequency. So high frequency just means it's going to appear to you frequently. Like not something that you don't ever use or like you use once a year, but it's something that comes up to you, or in K dramas you hear this pattern all the time. That's what I'm talking about. So patterns, have you heard of patterns? Like even in English we have patterns. Let me give you an example. I have noun. That's one pattern. I have noun. So now what we're going to do, we're going to switch this noun part, and by plugging in our vocab. That's number 2. Do you see it? Number 2 was vocab. So I can say I have a pencil. I have my laptop. I have a ring. I knew one pattern. I have noun, and then I plugged in my nouns to make sentences. That's pattern. That's power of learning one pattern, because with one pattern you can make hundreds of sentences just by swapping your nouns and verbs. So another pattern you have is give me noun. Noun 주세요. So you can say coffee, give me. Give me. 커피 주세요. Or give me that. 적어 주세요. We use 주세요 all the time when you order something, right? So just like that, pattern study, like I have all of these patterns. You probably have seen my YouTube videos where I go over patterns too. And why pattern study is so important is it gives you flexibility in expressing yourself, right? If you know your high frequency, like a good 200, 300 patterns, you can say and reason anything that you like. I have something, I have to verb, or don't verb. Like, don't do it, don't make it. Like, hajima. Have you heard of that pattern in Korean? Hajima, kajima, ojima. That's like one pattern. I'm just swapping out the verbs. And here, I created a flashcard where the green one represents the verb pattern and the orange one represents the noun patterns. And you are just gonna grab one and you're going to plug in your noun and say the pattern. And then plug in another one, another noun that you learned from your step 2, which you have like 500 here. So you can create literally 500 with just one pattern. 500 sentences. So that's like a whole system I created, and hundreds of you are already into this course and the flashcards and my video lessons, and you're emailing me that you love it. So I'm really, really grateful that this course is helping you too. And if you're new and you're wondering about how do I get to pattern study and your course, this course is called the Game Changer. I had to name it like that. I actually didn't name it. One of my students named it, and I'm like, that's the perfect name. So, this is called the Game Changer for Korean grammar. And we just go over patterns and flexibility in expressing yourself and speaking and all of that. One pattern a day, 10 sentences. And the next day, we create other ones too. So, that concludes all 7 steps. First 7 steps you need to take when you're learning Korean. How do you guys feel about this? Do you have clear direction now? Let me know in the comments. What step or like what stage are you in? Can you let me know so I can better help you? I can come up with better YouTube videos to match and to help you on that stage. Okay, so let me know. I read all the comments. Although I cannot reply to all your comments, but just know that I read all your comments because my phone notifies me. Do you see it? It notifies me every comment you make, and my Instagram notification, like everything lets me know. I don't turn them off. I read them because I care about you. I want to take a good care of you. If you're in my world, if you're in my channel, if you're my student, I want to take a good care of you. All right? So that wraps up today's video. Did you find it helpful? I hope you did. And I will see you in the next one. And always know that teacher loves you. Okay? 안녕!